do feel like when I was on TSR, That's So Raven, I felt like boys watched the show because I had big boobs. Like,
really?
I do. I feel like...
I don't think this is accurate. Now, I didn't watch this show. I didn't have any interest in this show. So I'm kind of curious with what people who watch this show actually thought of it. Because according to, Google is one of the most successful shows was on the Disney Channel. But I didn't really, well, first off, I didn't have the Disney Channel. I had like regular TV. So I didn't have access to cable TV. If you grew up in a black household like I did, and my parents didn't really, like, they didn't let the kids have access to cable. We had access to regular TVs, like, and then the TVs we got was like, it was like a phase or whatever the case is. It was like if we got them for free or they cost next to nothing, that's how we got the TVs, or we found them. I grew up poor, so, Anyway, okay, I'm not gonna say poor. Maybe just, I'm gonna say broke, not poor, because we had stuff. We just didn't have like expensive name brand stuff. Anyway, so I didn't really care for this show. When it came on, like the networks on the lower side of the remote. Like if it wasn't Kids WB or Fox Kids, I didn't care for the digits on the lower end. And ABC and CBS and NBC were like Channel 3, Channel 6, and Channel 10. I didn't care about any numbers below Fox, and because Fox was like 29, Channel 29, and WB was, I forgot what channel it was. It was just one or a couple of digits higher than Fox. But if it wasn't Fox and WB, the WB channel, I didn't really care about anything else lower than that. On not no Saturday morning, I'm not watching no show that wasn't animated, and that's what a lot of those shows on the lower numbers were. They were like kids shows, like extra kid shows compared to what I watched. Like I watched Power Rangers and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. And even though these shows were made for like they were made for kids. Like they were produced to be for kids. Their mangas, their comics, their mangas, if you will, were not for kids. Like people died in Yu-Gi-Oh! People died in Pokemon. Like not actual people, but the Pokemon. They in the video games, in the show they faint, but in the manga they die. Like if they got it got into a battle, they died. So they were almost like, these are like mature for kids cartoons. They weren't like no My Little Pony or Bratz or their cases. Even though Bratz did have a show, these are like mature shows. Godzilla, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Max. Not Mighty Max. I'm tripping. Mighty Mouse is definitely a show, but it didn't come on that channel. I'm definitely thinking about Mighty Max. The blonde haired kid with the red hat on and the white shirt and the blue pants or whatever. That show. I grew the '90s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Extreme Ghostbusters. Actually, Extreme Ghostbusters was definitely more mature. Like if you've seen YouTube Extreme Ghostbusters, it's a very mature show. Extreme Dinosaurs. What's the other show? Goosebumps. Actually, Goosebumps came on later in the day. It was like around like when I got home from school, so it was like around 5. So it was like definitely for a more mature audience. Ghost Rider. Even that was like earlier in the day. So I might not go count that. I'm just calling out stuff that I'm recalling. But I would check out. The only time I would actually check out the channels on the lower end is when the cartoons went off. The only time I checked out cartoons, like the only time I checked out cartoons on the lower number not cartoons. The only time I checked out channels on the lower, I'm gonna say the lower numbers, like 10 and 6 and 3s, was when the cartoons went off on the regular channels, man. So, and looking at her, unless she got a breast reduction or whatever the case is, I'm not really seeing it here, And honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I had a crush on Raven-Symoné, and I can actually say that before you go like Predator or whatever. Cause she's actually older than me. When I say I'm not in my 40s yet, I meant that. So she's actually older than me. Her and Aaliyah. I had a crush on her and Aaliyah. But I had a crush on the Olivia version of her and the girl from the Dr. Dolittle movies but when I saw That's So Raven, she was kind of big. So like, but then like she lost a massive amount of weight before she came out the closet, and it was like in a magazine that she was worth $400 million. And at first, like for a split second, I was like she lost the weight and she was like cute again. But then like she came out the closet and I was like, damn, that's a crazy. Unless they use like a younger picture of her in the magazine or whatever, because she's been big this whole time. Like she's been this thing right here. Like what the hell happened? So, but I never sexualized her or whatever cases. I just like had a crush on her. Like she was cute, you know. But I never like when I saw her like my crush was not overwhelming enough that I would actually disregard real cartoons that were made for me for whatever her show was about. I think her show was about her having like not psychic abilities, but the ability to see into the future or something like that. I don't know. I didn't give a shit. But what about you guys? Did you watch this show because she had big breasts? Let me know in the comments.